This tutorial is about fading in and out opacity and solids. I'm going to work in the test composition, make sure the timeline area is highlighted, and then you can go to Layer, New, and then Solid. By the way, this would be also if you wanted to add text. So I'm going to do Solid, and then I'm going to choose a color. Let's just do blue, and I'm choosing a blue in case you wanted to do like a sky, and here's your solid blue sky, although that's a little too blue. There's a couple different things that you can do. You can go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, and you can have an adjustment layer on here, and under the adjustments, then you can add one of these adjustments, and that would be something like if you wanted to blur something, you can use the blur. If you wanted to go under noise, if you wanted to make it more film grain kind of like, you can go there. There's some other types of color corrections that you can use. So say you want to change the color tone to the image, you can do that. I'm going to add something a little bit different. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go over here to Effects and Presets and go to Gradient. I'm going to type in the word gradient, and then I'm going to add it by clicking and dragging to the composition. Its default will give you these colors, and it will have an effect based on whatever composition color you used. So what I would suggest, if you want to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to make like a rising sun. Change this top one to a dark blue, and you can change the blend mode down here to, you can play around with it. I like lighten. Oops, not screen, lighten. Actually, no, I think let's do overlay. Overlay is nice. Okay, and let's bring down that. So if you notice my time indicators at the very beginning, and these also have stopwatches, and this is my start color and my end color, and I'm going to stopwatch my start and end color. I'm going to move over just a little bit, and then I'm going to change my blue to a light blue. Press OK, and my end color, which is at the bottom, is more, I want it to be more of a yellow. And maybe I might go back here and lighten it up a little bit. So then that would be my ending sky. So if you have a sunrise, you can have it where it starts off blue sky, press play, and it lightens up automatically. And if you want to see those keyframes down here, you can always click on the little arrow next to the solid under Effects, and you can see these black dots are indicating that within this tab you would see the keyframes. And so if you need to go in and move them around, you can do that. So that's one type of solid. Now I'm going to bring in my character, go back to my projects tab, and let's bring in my puppet pin one, and I'm going to drag it so it's on top of the medium solid. You'll notice that it still has the white background, so I'm going to go back into here, the composition that has him, and I'm going to, sorry, my computer's being a mess. Go to the background, I'm going to delete that background. So now if I go to test, he now has the regular background behind him. I'm going to zoom in to 100%. I'm going to move over and I'm going to actually zoom in just a little bit more so you can see his pixelated mouth. Now I'm going to create a layer, new, solid. I'm going to make it a red lipped color, but not too red. Press OK, OK, and I have a new solid in here. These are going to be his lips. It filled up the whole screen just like the other one, but this time I'm going to mask it. I'm going to take my pen tool up here. Masking means that I only want a certain portion of this to be visible. So if I click once, it makes a straight line. If I click and drag, it makes a curve. And if I click and drag, it makes a curve. If I go back over, I'm making huge fat lips right now because we can go ahead and we can change the size later, but wow, look how beautiful those big old lips are. So if I want to take my arrow, I can now reposition. That whole solid was made just for these beautiful big lips. I get off of it, and there you go. If you don't like the color, remember you can go back into the layer solid settings, and maybe let's make this a little bit more neutral color so he doesn't look like he has lipstick on. Press OK, and there you go. Now if you want to get him to animate, you just need to animate the mask. So if I click down on here and go under mask and click on his mask, I can, doesn't really matter what time of day, but click on the mask there. The mask path is what I want to actually animate. And so I can keyframe it so that now, sometimes if it doesn't let you click on the path itself, you might have to go back in here and go under the pen tool and maybe convert something. So then you can grab it and then you can move things around. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in about 800%. And then I can use my move tool. And change this. Don't have to make it look too precise. We just want it to look like he's kind of opening and closing his mouth. So now if I were to press play, let's not have it selected. And if I zoom out, maybe not that much, and I press play, see, now I can make him animate. But it's a really good idea to have your audio in here as you're trying to make it lip sync so that you can tell when he needs to have his mouth closed or open. And that's it for solids. If you want to see something fade, the opacity on something. So if I just go to the character, and I'm just going to go under transform, opacity, I can clock the opacity of something. So if we'll just pretend that he's an object. If I clock this, he's at 100% right now. If I want him to gradually fade away, I can bring him down to 0%. So he's gone. And now he fades with the background, but not his lips. If I wanted to, I can have him fade, and then one frame later, if I zoom in, remember to zoom in down here, I can have him all of a sudden gradually go back to 100%. So he fades out and then pops back in. So you can control something going in and out simply by using the opacity. You can see all these. You have changed the position before with P. If you want to change the size of something, you can use scale, which is S. If I take that back to 100%. R for rotation, O for opacity, and then if you want to do the anchor point, you can also clock the anchor point. I also use the pan behind tool to change anchor points. That's it.